heard a lot about this game and the style is pretty cool. Inspired by HR Giga and Zdzislaw Beksinski, the art style was quite great and unsettling. But I have already heard that the gameplay and the story were pretty weak. But I see myself as an open-minded man, and so I checked it out. I mean, at least it couldn't be as bad as the last horror game that tricked me with its style like Agony.
That is one big pile of shit.
So let's check it out. Scorn starts with a humanoid creature rising from some gooey mass and trying to escape from some kind of odd fleshy building. But he gets consumed by some kind of poison, and we wake up as another humanoid and have to repeat a lot of the stuff we already been going through at this point. Which wasn't fun or interesting in the first place. We solved some pretty vaguely presented puzzles and used the first gun in the game, a bolt rifle, which outright sucks. But weapons in general are not that much fun to use in this game, but that would be okay if the combat was tense. But it isn't, unfortunately. As I progressed, it also didn't get better, and the game doesn't explain anything to you that is important, like how to heal yourself and what is used for healing, or that standing still and aiming makes the shot more precise and powerful, which at least that you can figure out, but as every shot counts, it's annoying that you have to learn it first and waste precious ammo. Scorn is telling hardly a story, it's more about giving you hints about what is actually going on and you glimpsing into what this world is and how it works. Even the achievements that you get are vague and cryptic. The locations are not that varied. After you walk through the desert, you are mostly walking through some organic building structures and try to survive and proceed. Along the way you are confronted with bizarre creatures that don't even look that interesting overall. There are only 3 enemy types. Some 4-legged creatures with an open fleshy head, a small creature with an open fleshy head, and a huge bull-like creature, which charges you and has a fleshy open wound on what I assume is its head. We don't know where they came from. The creatures just rise from the fleshy walls from time to time, or climb out of holes and attack us. Combat is kind of terrible, to be honest. The bolt gun needs several hits, most of the time 5 for the 4-legged creatures, and has to recharge after 2 shots. Smaller creatures can be killed quicker, but because the guy we are playing as is not able to dodge or jump aside, to evade attacks, and you often get knocked out by these creatures and get continuously attacked, we usually take damage when we are in combat. Also, the 2 smaller enemies are spitting acid and it seems like they are almost hit scanning. They sure have an incredible precision for creatures that seemingly have no eyes. You do get more weapons later on. There is a pistol-like weapon that needs several shots for most enemies, but with headshots you can deal with them better. A shotgun which is powerful if you can hit anything with it properly, which is often not the case, unfortunately. In the end, you also fight a cyborg or one of these things from Quake 4, and it has a grenade launcher, which you then get yourself once you defeat him in a pretty bad boss fight. That is way too easy in the first half and way too random in the second half. But once you kill him, you can get the grenade launcher for like 5 minutes. The game was quite underwhelming, to be honest. I expected it to be not great, but it was worse than I was anticipating. While not a complete failure, this was not an agony level disaster after all, but it is something that could have been really cool, but just isn't. The gameplay is the biggest turnoff and a better story would have helped a lot, but we get only bits and pieces, but with the bad sides being bad puzzles and combat, you can just focus on what is left, and that's the story, which you only get bits and pieces from, and not a clear picture in the end. And not even that clear of a picture in the end. A more engaging story or narrative would have been much better for this. I would have enjoyed it more if it would be more story focused and a walking simulator, I would assume, because as it is, it just wasn't that enjoyable. I didn't expect it to be a lot of fun, but at least engaging in some way. But a lot of the interactions were just lacking. I really think that having the style which already attracted a lot of people and better puzzles and just walking around the structure, exploring it, maybe also seeing different things than just the brownish, grayish meat walls, would have been a better approach. But I can only rate what we got, and this I didn't like that much. I'm very mixed about it and will give Scorn a 5 out of 10. It really could have been cool, it could have been very interesting, visually stunning, but after all, it was just very mediocre, and I'm very mixed about it all. There are some cool ideas, but not enough to keep me interested. Maybe if they would make a sequel and really improve on what they have, or maybe take a different way and have less combat or different combat, and more of a narrative or visual storytelling or anything focusing more on story, it would be better. But this was just a bit disappointing.